Galveston is a defensive barrier island, but it's also a very popular tourist destination, as well as home to many endangered species of animals. We're also known for our resiliency. The 1900 storm, which took over 6,000 lives, was the largest natural disaster in U.S. history, and it happened here on Galveston Island. This was pivotal for the island because it marked a time for us to be able to transition into more positive things. Over 100 years ago, our forefathers built the seawall, elevating the island over 17 feet to protect us against storms, and that worked. This ability to overcome was huge for Galveston. Just 11 years after the Great Storm, we saw that Galveston once again was the playground of the South and was the #1 tourist destination in the state of Texas. And this continues to today. What we're doing here on the island today is built on the success of our past. We're more resilient with our beaches. We're nourishing them to make sure that we remain a barrier for the coastal communities beyond Galveston. We're also making sure that when we nourish these beaches, that we're making practices that are going to allow us to sustain the animals that are here and that call it home.
A large part of our sustainability here in Galveston is maintaining our 32 miles of beach and coastline. The beaches are very, very important to Galveston, not only for tourism, but they're our first-line defense for flooding and for sustainability of our city. One of our major challenges is erosion. So from time to time, we need to come in and do maintenance projects to replenish the sand on the beaches. Sometimes when we have major storm events, we have to come in and do a complete reconstruction and a repair. When the sand winds up back in the ocean, some of it does travel farther east and it winds up in our channel. The Houston-Galveston Navigation Channel is one of the most important commerce channels in the nation. The Army Corps of Engineers maintains that channel, and therefore, from time to time, they need to dredge and deepen and widen for the shipping traffic. When that happens, the Park Board reaches out and makes partnerships with the Army Corps of Engineers to actually purchase that material that they're pulling from the channel, and they bring it here, and then they physically pump that sand onto the shore, and we make a beach for people to recreate. The Galveston Park Board started our major efforts of replenishing sand after Hurricane Ike in 2009. Since then, we have replenished more than 3.7 million cubic yards of material along 8 miles of beachfront.
Wash to Shore is a nonprofit based in Oregon, here on the coast of the United States, where the goal is to reduce plastic pollution through awareness, or as we like to say, art to save the sea. So our ocean conservation is really all about art, like the marlin behind me, created with trash collected by volunteers on our beaches and turned into magnificent pieces of art. So while our sculptures are created from the trash collected off the beaches in Oregon, we're going to come to Galveston to do that next. We're going to work with the community to collect trash and create a creature that's inspired by their voice, what they would like to see, because this one will stay in Galveston. It won't travel the country. It'll be here to inspire residents and tourists to protect these beautiful beaches for many, many years to come. Over 8 to 11 million pieces of plastic are entering the marine ecosystems every day globally, and so it's important for everyone to know that they have a part to play in helping protect this vital ecosystem.
Like any beach where there are people, there is trash. We're the last line of defense before any of that waste ends up in the ocean. It's important for us to take care and be responsible for our beachfront, and with that comes the trash that we are responsible for picking up. That applies to our residents and also our visitors. To encourage them to do so, we've created a number of programs and initiatives. One of my favorites is our Beach Toy Borrow Box program. We noticed after a weekend we'd be picking up hundreds of beach toys that people had bought on Friday and were throwing away on Sunday. We now pick up all beach toys that are left along all 32 miles. We bring the beach toys back to our lot, we clean them, and we return them to one of our Beach Toy Borrow Boxes. So what would have been beach toys left on the beach or ending up in a landfill, we've created a system of reuse for visitors and beachgoers alike to enjoy responsibly. One of my favorite things is when children come up to grab toys to play with, to see their response to the Beach Toy Borrow boxes, to see how excited they are to play with these toys. We've noticed less beach toys being left on the beach overnight and less ending up in our trash cans. It seems as though when you give people the opportunity to be responsible and do the right thing through sustainability, they are always encouraged to do so. With the more projects we create, the more and more support we get.
We are currently on the east end of Galveston Island at the East End Lagoon Nature Preserve, and a large chunk of the preserve is wetland, specifically salt marsh. So Galveston, Texas is a flyway for migratory birds. During the height of migration, we'll get millions of birds passing through this area of Texas, if not more. So it's a really unique place for birds and for the birding community. One of the biggest concerns and things we see with visitors to the island is the trash they leave behind. Specifically, it is harmful to wildlife. During migration seasons, we tend to get a lot of visitors here to see birds, and it can put a strain on the resources here. We work with the park board to encourage people to come to Galveston year-round for birding. You don't have to come just during spring migration or just during fall migration. It's an effort to spread out when people are coming here to bird, and that helps to put less strain on the habitat and the resources that are being used by the birds. The community is very invested in protecting everything you see behind me, everything you see around us, and educating the public on that. We are a Bird City, Texas community. It was a community-wide effort to make happen. It's a 3-year certification, just showing that our community is dedicated to protecting birds and their habitat, where we live, work, and recreate.
Artist Boat is a nonprofit organization that provides inspiration and education through unique coastal experiences, and we do that primarily at our Coastal Heritage Preserve where we are today. One of our biggest programs, which serves youth and adults, is our EcoArt Adventure program, and we take thousands of people out in groups to the estuary, and we teach them about wetlands, the functions of the wetlands, how our estuary works, how it's connected to the ocean, and then they learn how to make a plein air watercolor landscape painting, just like Van Gogh or Monet would have done. I think when you provide people inspiration, they aspire to be better humans. For people to learn takes time and experience. It's not an ad you put on the TV or a brochure you hand them. People don't change without experiences. And so we really try to help people have an experience that would enable them to share knowledge and share beauty and, for lack of a better word, change their behaviors.
When visitors come to Galveston, we want them to take part in the effort. We want them to leave the beach better than they found it. It's that ethos and attitude that we need the visitors to bring to Galveston Island, because this is a very delicate ecosystem and we want to protect it for generations to come.